Hello everyone, thank you for coming up today. My old subscribers, thank you. And to those that are viewing for the first time or that have not subscribed, please click on the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified each time we upload a new video. And to my new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. And please do not forget to hit the like button. An estranged wife and the husband's mistress engage in a serious fight. There is a video footage which I'm going to leave behind for my viewers to watch and listen and see how these women engaged in a serious fight while the husband was there, the mistress and his wife. And this video would actually show the moment the estranged wife and her own husband's mistress got into an argument in the Isheri Dpo'S office, and this has already been made public. Katherine Daramola, who is 57 years old, a US-based lawyer, had accused her estranged husband, Adetokunbo Daramola, of abandoning her and their 4 children in the United States and returning to Nigeria, where he got his mistress to start living with him in their matrimonial home. Katherine further accused her husband, a businessman who executes contracts for the Lagos Inland Revenue Service, and his mistress of conniving to illegally acquire their joint-owned property in Lagos. And the property in question is a twin duplex at Magodo in Lagos, Nigeria. And in 2010, Mr. Daramola partly relocated to Nigeria, where he began executing contracts for the Lagos Inland Revenue Service and some local government areas in the state as well. While Mrs. Daramola told the public that the couple had earlier acquired plots of land at the Magodo GRA where they built their duplex, that she and her own husband had acquired this land and they built that duplex in Magodo GRA. And this is what the wife, that's Katherine Daramola, is actually explaining out to the public so that they can hear from her. This is what she said. We got 2 plots of land at Magodo, but we were not able to build on both plots. So we got a developer who paid 10 million on an agreement that he would take 2 duplexes and the family the other 2 duplexes. We built 2 duplexes and the certificate of occupancy has her name on it. So this is what Mrs. Daramola is actually saying. And she also said that she contributed 75% of the money spent on building the house and furnished most parts of their home. She also alleged that, unknown to her, her husband, while in Nigeria, began an affair with another married woman. Upon completion and furnishing of their home, her husband and his mistress moved into that same home where they had built in Magodo GRA. Mrs. Daramola said after over 3 decades of legal practice, she had begun planning her retirement. And this is what she's saying. I'm homegrown. I am close to retirement. I need to come home, which is why we built the house. Now they are trying to deny me access to my house. Mrs. Daramola also said that her estranged husband intermittently abandoned her and their 4 children in the United States, leaving her to single-handedly cater for the kids. And she has accused her husband of having an illicit and adulterous relationship with a woman whose husband was in the United Kingdom. He came to the United States and spent few months, then came back to Nigeria in 2018. And she noticed that he was having an affair, but she did not know how serious it was. But back then in August 2018, Mrs. Daramola said that while she was buying the furniture and other home items in the United States and shipping them to Nigeria. Her estranged husband, who was clearing the properties in Lagos, was giving his mistress the impression that he was an American big boy. And she handed over everything to him out of trust that he, being her own husband, the man of the home, he should take over. That was what she actually felt would happen. And due to that trust, she had just continued buying things and shipping them more to him so that he can furnish their house. But unknown to her that his mistress was even living in that same house that she had built. And she was the first person that used her jacuzzi that they had even put in the house. You can just imagine. And she was the first person to even use the brand new bed and the kitchen utensils and everything in the house. Guys, is this not painful even hearing it? And then she felt that she was comfortable and this is her own new home right now. Since everything has been furnished, she's been brought into a new home. This mistress felt so relaxed and felt more at home since the boyfriend decided to bring her in to the house. And Mrs. Daramola said that the affair broke their marriage of 25 years and that due to the abandonment and numerous incidents of adultery and fear of being infected with deadly sexual diseases, she separated from him and asked him to give up her share of the twin duplexes. But Mrs. Daramola said that she visited Nigeria in May 2019 but unannounced, only to find the female items all over in their home. She said that her husband denied knowing who had that particular item. You can just see what is happening right now. And that her next visit to Nigeria, the locks to the house had been changed by her husband's mistress. She accused the woman of planning to take over the house with her own mother. You can see that's the mistress there and Mr. Daramola all together in a loving position. And you can see that she also said she hired a lawyer in Nigeria and began filing legal notices against her husband and his estranged mistress. Despite several legal notices and lawsuits, both defendants continued to stay in her own duplex, and Mr. Daramola continues to lock her out, and she had to break into the house several times. And on Sunday, when she arrived with her children and broke the locks and the padlocks to gain entry into the house, only to find Abisoye, that's the husband's mistress, personal items and intimate items thrown all over the bedroom and in secured places in the house. Her children and herself now moved her items out of the house and piled them up at the gate. When they were notified by third parties that they were in the house, they called the police and the Isheri DPO all came in to the house because they had to call the cops. But Tokumbo Daramola and Abisoye, that's the husband and his girlfriend, were asked to remove their personal belongings from the home. And in the presence of the police officers, they both threatened to kill Mrs. Daramola. The DPO advised them to return with the police escort and came to pick up their load. Abisoye, that's the girlfriend, started screaming and insisting that she would not leave the home, that is her home. Herself and Olatokunbo Daramola conspired and falsely accused her of stealing. They, however, later admitted that none of the personal items were stolen, but filed a police report. She also said that she had received several threats from the mistress. That's Mrs. Daramola was threatened by the mistress and her mother, and they would say things like they're going to kill her within 6 months, threatening your fellow human being with death. However, Mrs. Daramola also accused her husband and his mistress of evading court service. What Mr. Daramola is exhibiting is the current trend of Nigerian men in the diaspora who walk away from long-term marriages and children and subject wives to mortgages while they come to Nigeria and live with other women. This is what Mrs. Daramola was saying, and that Olatokunbo needs to be needful and give her her own property. He wants to continue staying over at the house, and that she spent her whole life savings and spent over $53,000 furnishing the house. Guys, this is a very horrible incident that is going on right now. This is what is happening at the moment as I speak with you. Like I said, there is a video, you're going to see everything that is actually happening, how the wife and this estranged girlfriend or mistress are having their own altercations in the presence of the husband, and the husband is just quiet. Even you would see where she is refusing to leave the house, the mistress claiming that that's her house and she's not moving out. Can you all just picture this in your head and analyze this whole thing? You can imagine that your own sweat, because you can hear the woman, that is Mrs. Daramola, saying that she found this woman's items in her own house, and that this woman is still claiming that that's her home and she's not moving out. You would see everything and hear directly from Mrs. Daramola, but I just want us to analyze this together. Come to think of it, you can just imagine yourself in the position of Mrs. Daramola. You're away, you're spending and trying to ensure that your home is kept, all for you to come back and see that another woman has occupied your own home. The worst part is that your new items, you've not even used them. Your bed, your furniture, your kitchen utensils, everything brand new, is another woman who has now decided to even start using those things before you. Isn't that painful? Not to talk of the fact that she is claiming that place as her home. And to make matters worse, her own mother, that's the mother of the mistress, is now threatening Mrs. Daramola. She and her daughter are now saying that within 6 months, Mrs. Daramola is going to die. This is even getting worse than you can even imagine. Why would you go and claim someone else's property? Fine, she is saying that Mrs. Daramola was saying that when she noticed all this, she decided to separate from her husband, but what she wanted was her own share of the property, which she contributed over 75% of the money that was spent to furnish and to build the duplexes that they actually have in Magodo GRA. And her husband was adamant about it. Instead of him doing what he was meant to do, rather he kept on enjoying whatever she was sending forth to furnish the house with his own mistress. Isn't this so heartbreaking and painful? You can imagine that he even abandoned his kids in the United States and came down to Nigeria to now start another home with another married woman. That is where it's even worse. This is another married woman. You married woman, what are you doing with another woman's husband? Even though they're in the process of the separation, at least you have your own husband. What are you doing with someone else's husband? And you can see her when you watch the video. You can see her. She's so relaxed and screaming that she's not moving out of the house. Did you build that house? You were not part of this house from the onset. You were not part of this family. Why come to destroy someone else's home? Friends, analyzing this whole thing, it's so heartbreaking and even painful, because you just imagine yourself, it's just like you're sweating and pouring the whole money into a leaking basket, and the whole money is just pouring out of the basket gradually, unknown to you. This is exactly what is happening right now, because all her sweat is being used by another woman unknown to her. Okay, right now she has come in to move into the house with her kids, and this other woman is refusing. Even the presence of the policemen, the cops are there, you can actually see them, and she insists that she's not moving out. Who does this kind of a thing? Are they feeling that they have some kind of powers that they can use to control even the cops and they'll get away with it? This question would now go to some women and men. You men, why do you decide? Some people, some men are fond of this. They have wives in different countries. Some are in one country and they've started a family. Meanwhile, they go back home to their own home country, they have another wife and they start another family there. Or some of them will leave their wives, come back and start another relationship with another woman. And then this other one in the other country will be sending money to him, thinking that he is doing something good for them or building a house. Meanwhile, he's there having his own fun with his girlfriend. Why do some men do like this? It's so painful when the woman is out there working so hard to ensure that she helps the home, irrespective of the fact that the man should be doing it, but she takes it upon herself, go through a whole lot of stress, working and sending the money down home to her husband, and trusting all of this to him, only to come out and find out that this man is there having his own feel with another woman. Isn't this so heartbreaking? So men are fond of this. I think you should stop. If you don't want a woman anymore or you're tired of the marriage, it's not better you open up and say it than playing double games. You're having another woman in that country with kids and then you're developing another one in a different country again. And then you women, worse, this one is even very, very terrible. You're a married woman. What are you doing with another married man? And the question is, where is your husband in all of this? Is her husband in support of what is happening? Because from all of this fight, the husband appears not to be there. Although from the information gathered, it's that her husband is also in the UK. Then does it mean that men and women now decide they leave the other countries, come back to Nigeria, and then start having affair with other married men or married women or with other men and other women? Why do some people decide that this is the kind of life they want to live? Why wreck another woman's home? Why get yourself involved into terrible acts like this? This is just being inhuman and you're not being realistic with your own self. What you would not want someone else to do to you, don't do it to somebody else. See how this woman is so comfortable and sitting down there and screaming that she is not moving out of the house. Is that your house? This is just creating unnecessary problems. And then they are now threatening the woman's life. Why should you threaten her life? That's her own husband, that's her home. She labored for it. Why the threat? I think the mother should have been in a better position to call her daughter to attention. Probably they know what they are gaining from there. Otherwise, a mother should be in a position to tell her daughter, leave this home, you are doing the wrong thing. Instead, it's her own mother that is even encouraging her and joining up to connive with her own daughter to threaten this woman's life. You're going to kill her for what reason? What wrong did she do to any of you other than claim what belongs to her? And it's so painful. You could see the husband from the video. He's just sitting there and saying nothing. He's not even responding to their arguments, their fights. You can see that he is not even getting himself involved. This is what happened in some of the cases. You find out that some of the women start fighting and the men will just back off and look at them. Whatever they want to do to themselves, they should go ahead and do. But it's not nice that you be a party to break any woman's home or any person's marriage. Please stay away from other people's husbands. For women that are doing this, please keep to your own self, keep to your own husband. If you're having issues with your husband, try to sort it out. Why go and wreck another woman's home? And then you sit there comfortably and acting like you own the house. That is really, really bad. For men too, why do you cheat on your wives and then your wife will be out there working and trying to ensure that you have a home in your own country so that you can always come back home and be comfortable? That's the reason why some people decide to still build a house in their own home country so that you can still come back home, because that is your own place, that's your own home. And then instead of you appreciating this woman and doing what you're meant to do as the man, you now decide to pick up another woman to start off another life with her. This is so unfair. I don't know why some men decide to go into acts like this. This is being inhuman to your own wife. Why double date people like this? Your own wife you've been with for so many years with kids, and then you now start off with another woman. Your wife is there laboring and sweating, and then you are here having fun with a different woman entirely. Please, men that are into this, disease from it. Learn to appreciate your spouse. Learn to appreciate their efforts that they are engaging themselves in to ensure that you have a home. This is so painful and even so unbelievable to see another woman sitting down so comfortably and then claiming another woman's property. It also goes for the women. Don't wreck your husband's home. You leave your husband and then go and meet another man. Please, women, always stick to your own husband. Sort your issues with yourselves. Don't wreck another woman's home all because you're not okay with your own husband. And also some women, when you leave your husband in a different country, you go to another country and start off with another man again, building another family. Meanwhile, your husband will think you're in a different country and working and trying to make ends meet. Meanwhile, you are not doing that. That's the opposite of what you're doing. Please, for those men and women involved in horrible acts like it's really horrible, disease from it. Don't be a party to wreck your spouse's life, to wreck your home, to wreck your marriages, to wreck your family. And remember, kids are involved. When you have kids involved in issues like this, think twice before you take your drastic decisions. Friends, what do you all think about this? Please, whatever you think, I will say, please, you could put that down at the comment section below. Your comments are highly important. I'm leaving the video behind so you can watch and see for yourself and hear what is really happening there. Please do not forget to click on the like button and also the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified each time we upload a new video. Thank you for coming up. God bless you all.
Master, don't say anything. He was looking at me threatening. Who are you? He's looking at me. This is what I do. I can bring my whole family here. They cannot stand up against you. Who the hell are you to come? You are carrying a bastard. You are a python bastard. Go and claim your home. Go and claim your home. Go and claim your home. You keep it up for the your children are dead. Your children fuck your father. Fuck your generation. Go and claim your home. You cannot come and take my home. It's my home. It's my home. It's my home. Oh yeah? It's mine. It's mine. 25 years. Yes. My income taxes. My income taxes. My income taxes. Idiot. You drug dealer. I've thrown your things out of my bedroom. I've thrown your, they are fucking you. They are fucking you on the bed. On the bed. Yes, because it's my bed. It's my bedroom. In this Lagos. I found your fucking things. It's my bedroom. I found the documents. I have all the documents. Don't want it. This right there. You can have him. You can have him. I don't think nothing's happening. Viagra. You don't think Viagra for you. I have a younger man. Nothing. You arrest me. I'm waiting for you. All you did was check. I'm waiting for you. Enough is enough. It's enough. I'm telling you. No, they cannot take you. They cannot take you. For here. Who the hell is Tokunbo Daramola? You fugitive from justice. Before me, because of me, you did not go to get the new justice. I want to clean up your conviction. You were already convicted. You were already convicted. I clean it up. You were convicted. I clean it up for you. You bastard. I've thrown out your boots. I've thrown out your... Yes. What do you do? What do you do? Sit down. What do you do? Sit down. What do you do? You know what you did to me? I'm sorry that what you did to me. This bastard. Get out. You're fucking you on my bed. My property. Madam, you will enter my house. You will enter my house. Madam, you will enter my house. Sit down. I say yes, Kathy.
You can bring anybody to the house.
Go fuck them on my bed. Record the recording. The recording. Leave one. Record them.
All right, Charlie. No wonder, beds of the same kind of
Sorry, my bad.
I don't know what I was saying. Okay.
Give him a cook.
We have people. I don't mind leaving the house for her. I'm not a troublemaker. And if somebody step on my toes, I'm fine. The reason why I involved you is because I don't want us to go there. Physical fight starts. Somebody gets hurt. Then people will blame me that I'm an educated man. Why are you fighting the way your wife, your extreme wife was doing? She's been fighting since. If people cannot get along, it's not a big deal. You don't have to fight. Work amicably. Everybody gets what they want, and they move on. Throwing my stuff out of the house. Throwing my stuff out of the house. Locking me out, which you already did in America. And I left the property for them. She wants to come here now and start another fight to the property. Sir, let me get your intervention. All these papers you get, because every time she took me to court, she loses. And she's losing the currently she's losing again. Because she lied to the judge. That's not true. That they have reduced her salary. No, that's not true.
You can't pay child support.
But that's not what I'm doing.
And you are doing
While we are here, while we are here, is to.
They have no right to touch my son. They have no right to bring any guest into this house. Oh, we don't follow your possibility.
Is this not the guest?
Take that, come on.
I ask you to leave?
I tell you, you cannot leave. Oh,
If I ask you to leave, this is just the answer.